As we are now loading in, as you can see, to Entombed Valley. Let's begin. Spawning down in the bottom right, the man who secured himself an impressive top 3 in WCS Europe. It is LucifroN. And his opponent, who got 4th place in Brazil, backing himself $500, and then more importantly, managed to get 3rd place in South America.
Well-known players in this event. There's a lot of huge names, but particularly in the Oceania and Latin American and South American scene, not a lot of names are as well known, but Levin is one of those names that always strikes up along with Killer and Maker to really have a strong impact consistently in those South American events. So I'm excited to see what he's going to be presenting today, beginning with a pretty typical pylon right touching the main nexus. Wow, we have LucifroN building a supply depot at the front. Nothing too telling from either player.
Levin being the only Brazilian player at this event here. And can he defeat LucifroN? As LucifroN's a very strong opponent. He's got a lot of big results as well. And definitely one of the favorites to get out of this group for sure.
Yeah, LucifroN has just been absolutely tearing it up. I mean, I know that pretty much no matter who it is, Inser, Lowly, and even Levin as well, talking about how LucifroN is just, he is the obstacle to overcome to get out of the group. Every single player has some clever build prepared in the TVP matchup to be able to floor him. Should Levin go all in? Should he play defensive? Honestly, when you're a Protoss player and you feel like you're playing from behind, there's generally 3 big paths that you go down. One being some kind of all-in, maybe a Proxy Immortal all-in. The second one would be some sort of hyper-defensive Colossus-based play, taking 3 bases and trying to win from there. But another one that I've seen a lot of people rely on is a 2-base Zealot Archon, very fast +2/+2 style that works very, very nicely on this map.
And we do see with LucifroN actually a complete wall-off. It's becoming quite standard actually within this matchup. It's almost bad now to reveal if you're going gas or not gas, or should I say going 1 barracks command center. You don't really see anybody go 1 barracks, 1 supply depot into a command center. It reveals too much information. But now Levin doesn't know what's going on, doesn't know if a gas is taken, doesn't know if extra barracks are down, if it's a tech lab or the barracks. So now he actually has to play relatively cautious and defensive.
This is just brilliant that Terran players have figured out the right way to do this. The reason Terran players originally didn't go for command center in the main base is that it would cost too many minerals. Why do that when you can have a more economic fast expand? Well, the answer that Terran players have come up with is to get very early reactor add-ons. They take a long time to build. You can't be constructing out of them while that's going on. And in the meantime, you just sort of catch up, make up for all the money that you didn't have earlier by the inability to spend it.
Levin is going to go 1 gateway Nexus, which is the best thing for him in this circumstance. It would have hurt him a lot to go an extra gateway or a robotic facility early on here, considering what LucifroN's actually doing here. So Levin, despite not really knowing what's going on, has chosen the right pathway so far, and he's going to see the bunker down here. And that bunker doesn't necessarily give the information that LucifroN is expanding, but can portray that image quite nicely.
Now this is really nice. Often you'll see players poke the stalker up to here to try to get a sense of whether there is a command center there, and he will see nothing, Dr. Diapollo. So honestly, if you are in Levin's shoes, you're saying it could be an early expand, but more likely it's a fast cloaked Banshee.
And we are actually seeing Levin go double gateway really early on here because he doesn't know exactly what's going there. And he will add a robo very shortly, I suppose, is the most standard thing to do from here on out, but he hasn't quite taken the second gas yet. Meanwhile, LucifroN now is about to pick up and get that command center down. And he does have Sting on the way, so things are mapping out relatively well. As we did see LucifroN try to get scouting information on the natural. He did kind of know it was there and saw the sentry. But we see a forge, a single forge. Yeah, not a robo.
And this is a pretty neat play that we're seeing out of a lot of players. The single forge, very fast tech play. Popularized largely by Naniwa. You'd get players who would go for double forge and Zealot Archon, or double forge and Colossus, but because it eats up so much gas, you can't do any swapping between those. You go double forge and start going Colossus, you gotta keep going Colossus. Now, with a single forward, you can begin heading towards Templar and then very rapidly swap over to Colossus, so you lose the upgrade edge, which you make up for it by exploiting the fact that your opponent can't both have Vikings and Ghosts early.
I think we could be seeing a two-base all-in here from Levin, a Zealot, Storm, or Archon, depending on how he wants to play this out, kind of attack, because that armor was being chrono boosted out. He's naturally going to have to get the Twilight Council early on, I suppose, if he's going to chrono boost out an early +1 to go up to +2, unless he wants to get a +1 attack afterwards. LucifroN is adding on the second bunker, and the one advantage that Levin has here is that LucifroN has absolutely no idea how Levin plays. I doubt he's watched his playstyle, and it's already unique. We have the +1 armor coming down, and here come extra gateways. So he has two options, and it looks like he's going to choose the earlier one, which is going to be just the gateway he's added on now, and he's going to go for an attack with +1 armor. He's not going to rush over to the Council here.
Now this is an interesting play. We really don't see this sort of 7-gate, but notice how nice the timing is. You always worry about getting dropped or counter-dropped, but this timing is going to hit almost exactly at 9:15. That's when all these will wrap up, and that's when he'll be able to start putting pressure directly at the front. A nice pylon placement right here down for Levin. If he doesn't get supply block, he's going to be in good shape. The medevacs are about to pop out, so this is going to be an amazing situation for Levin.
And LucifroN actually won't see anything there. Oh, no, he did just about see the sentries. He knows what's coming now. He's seen the sentries. He has to throw down in another bunker immediately here. He's in danger.
Oh, and do you think Levin is going to try to knock down the rock? I mean, that's definitely a possibility, but now there's going to be 4 Marines down. Every Marine's going to count 2. And there's absolutely no combat shield. This is going to be a very big moment. And the force field's almost working against Levin for a brief period of time there. Levin absolutely not going to get supply block. Is he going to wait for another warp-in round? I think that would be very wise. Medevac's almost out, but I'm not so sure that Levin cares. This is going to be a difficult push to defend.
Waiting for another round, he's going to have +1 combat shields and Medivacs out. If he doesn't go soon, he can hit this right before
he needs to go right now. And he needs to get those zealots in the front. Get up there, and now he's doing the attack. He has to make sure that he has that combat shield. Oh my god, a huge arc coming in from LucifroN, but the bunkers are taking some massive damage, but LucifroN's spread might be a little bit too big. This +1 all-in push does manage to successfully pick off a single bunker, but Levin is now going to do a re-warp-in and is picking off all the sentries. Oh my god, LucifroN showing the power of +1 combat shield, Marines, and medevacs, and LucifroN destroys push number 1.
Oh, dearie me. Combat shield's now done, +1 is done, and LucifroN is wiping the floor right now. This is very unfortunate for Levin. He tried to break up there. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. GG.
You know, you can't blame LucifroN in a spot like that. Or excuse me, you can't blame Levin in a spot like that. He's up against LucifroN.
Yeah.